Bitcoin above $100,000 is incredible, considering the fact that when you zoom out, it used to be worth $2. Actually, less than $2, honestly. It used to be worth nothing. It was free. They actually were giving it away for free. And in its lifetime, it's up nearly 5 million%. That's incredible for people that bought over here. Pretty good for people that bought over here. Pretty good for people that bought over here too. But everyone that's new to this cycle, if you bought around $20,000 or so, you're only up about 400%. And the real question is, does Bitcoin have enough gas left in the tank to make a new all-time high as predicted? This is going to be a very uncomfortable video because we're going to be talking about a lot of the truth around this particular rally, looking at previous performance and trying to figure out, is this rally almost over? Which I think it is. So before we get to that, my name is Aaron Dishner from the Coin Bureau Trading channel and also from the Better Traders, and I'm going to be going over reasons why I think we are nearing the end of this bull market while everyone else is screaming, no, it's going to go higher, it's going to go higher. Now, I do expect it to go higher for reasons that I've already laid out before. These disgusting looking overlaid fibs make the case for reasons why I think Bitcoin is going to go up here to $173,000 from the current price. That's an increase of 62%. But before we get there, there are a couple of things that we really need to analyze and be honest about. The first thing is just looking at price action. I have a very, very simple price heat map here. It's not as fancy as other people's, but it does a good job. We can see at the very bottom, this is where things are really oversold, things are really overbought. And this is just really crudely done. But the reality is that while some metrics say that we're still pretty cooled off, at least this really crudely drawn price heat map tells me very clearly that we are very much near the top of this range. In fact, the top of this range is actually at about $147,000. I do expect it to go higher. We'll see. And again, this is drawn from way back over here. So this has actually been in place for a couple of years now, just kind of letting it be and stay. I mean, there's no reason why this has to stop here. It could go up higher. But it's interesting to note that if we just think about the range of BTC being down here at 16K, up here at $107,000, that's an increase of 567%. We could do the same or similar thing with 3,000 down here up to the previous all-time high at 69K. That's 2,000%. Yes, we're going to see diminishing returns as the price increases for this asset. But we are getting very close. Even just measuring out all-time high to all-time high. This is also really, really important. Really simple measurements, really. We're looking at the all-time high here on the weekly on Bitstamp, and it took 211 weeks from one high to the next. Looking at the next one, took 204 bars from this high to the next one. So if we take the same idea, 204 bars puts us with the top the first week of October. The second one, which is my target, is over here in late November. November seems to work well for a top, mainly because this previous cycle's top in 2021 was November, price-based top. Metrics, all the tops were pointing to February, March 2021. If we go back over here, December 2017 was this market cycle's top. Going back over here, December 2013 was that market cycle top. So that's why I'm leaning more towards the end of November. I think it makes a lot of sense just because we see this market typically topping out towards the end of the year, which given the fact that it's currently the beginning of June means we have about 6 months left. Maybe 5, maybe less. And now let's add a little bit more complexity to this. Let's actually just measure out the market low to the new all-time highs because maybe this can give us some information. Taking the market low here back in January 2015 to the high here in December 2017, it gave us 152 bars or 152 weeks. This was an incredible rally. Literally amazing. Melt your face off rally. Now, the next rally that we saw was not as jaw-dropping delicious. It was still good, but note, it was about 2,000% and also 152 bars. That's pretty wild. So if we take the same 152 bars from the Pico low here, let me just confirm that it has the Pico low. Oh, it does not have the Pico low. So let me go ahead. Pico low. Piccolo? Piccolo? We're going to go ahead and move this down, and we're going to just scooch this over 2 weeks. So we got the Pico low at $15,479. That puts a top here, October 20th, 2025. A little bit earlier than I'm actually expecting, which is November, but it's interesting to say the least that it's plotting out the end of this year based off of the previous 2 cycles. Now, I want to do this one next. Let's talk about halving dates. So we know based off of the previous halving dates, we can actually measure out to see, is there anything that we can use moving forward to help us figure out, can we measure a market top? Well, we have the first halving here, November 28th, 2012. It was 52 bars or 52 weeks until the market topped out. Now, going back over here, the second halving, July 9th, 2016, it took 74 bars for the market to top out. Quite a lot longer. The third halving in 2020 took 78 bars, so it's getting longer. Now, if we take those same measurements to try to plot out, well, the 52 bar mark from the first halving, we've already exceeded that. And the top then, the close was 85,000, so that wasn't the top. The next one we have here, 74 bars. This is from the second halving. This one is plotting the middle of September, which is a little bit early. And then we have this one, 78 bars, is the beginning of October. So we're seeing several signs pointing to a possibility of seeing our market top at least in the fall of this year. October, November, December, somewhere in there. Now, it actually gets crazier because we can use the TBO. Now, not all of you have access to the TBO indicator, and if you want access to it, the best way to get access to it is by going to Coin Bureau Deals. If you click on the link that's in the description below, you'll go to the Deals page and you'll be here. And there are lots of great exchanges. There are lots of other tools and services to sign up for, including the Coin Bureau Club, which is a ridiculously amazing Discord server where they have tons of information available for you. They're 24/7, whether it's Dan, my co-host on the Coin Bureau Trading channel, or it's Guy or Nick posting on there. They're posting their insights. They're sharing as much as they can. It's a great resource for you. But there's a discount for 10% off of our course at thebettertraders.com in partnership with Coin Bureau. And this comes with 1 month access to the TBO indicator, which I'm going to be talking about next. I'm purposely delaying talking about the TBO because I know not everyone has it. And some of you are also against indicators, which is fine. It's okay. This is why we're trying to keep an open mind, talking about other things first. Now, one thing about using the TBO that's helpful is that it immediately gives me a visual top-down view of Bitcoin's price action since inception. The whole point of the TBO, the trending breakout indicator, is to help me understand the strength of the trend. And it also highlights breakouts, which are these white dots right here. The first white dot's appearing back in June 2016, and the third one right here in December. We see more breakouts right here, perfect 3 in a row, which I love. November 2020, which preceded an incredible market rally. And then we have more of them actually happening back here in February 2024. So if we are feeling like, well, no, this market's just getting started, well, we've already done the measurements. We already know that we are very much, even just from the market low to the new all-time high, we haven't just started this bull rally. If we're looking at 152 bars potential price action, we are 133 bars done out of 152 bars. But what does the TBO have to do with all this? Well, a couple of things. For one, the TBO does show us where there are breakouts, but it also shows us the strength of the trend, and that's denoted by this cloud right here. And when this slow line, which is the slowest of the 4 moving averages that comprise the TBO indicator, is curling up, moving up strong, it's a great bullish indicator that we should expect the price to continue moving up higher. But when it starts to flatten out, Or more notably, when we get these blue diamonds right here, these are TBO close longs. These are early bearish warning reversal signals. When we get these, it's a confirmation signal that we're probably done with the market rally. You're not going to like this, just as much as I'm not going to like saying this, but it's the truth. Market crashes, starts up another rally. We get more of these letting us know, careful, careful, careful. COVID crash, we start up again. We get our breakouts, repeat the same process again. Careful, careful, price goes back up. And then we get our bearish confirmation with an open short on the weekly. Price goes below the cloud. We get a reversal, open long. And now we have our breakouts, it's going up higher, and we get our careful, careful. I don't like sharing this because my nickname is Moon and Papa. Let's be honest, I am a moon boy. I love to see prices go up higher. It's a little bit concerning, though, to see two of these TBO close shorts, just like these previous two. Now, these two came after a very clear blow-off top. Then we see a red X and a pink triangle. These are close shorts, cross down, open short. Same thing. Close short, cross down, open short. This is actually something that I call the TBO Bear Formula. And the unfortunate part is that we had one here, but now that we have two, this is yet again another signal that's flying in my face saying, Aaron, you'd be foolish to think that you're going to be going up to, $1 million from here, because the signs are clear. It's not just the fact that we have so many of these measurements telling us that it's the end of this year, but it's also now this indicator that's saying, well, yeah, things are bullish, but the cloud's moving up. Things are looking great. It looks looking good, but getting these, it's not a positive sign of continued bullish strength at all. So last time we had this back in May 2021, Bitcoin lost half its value. It rallied, retraced, went up a little bit more. That was it. I know a lot of people are really super duper bullish on Bitcoin. We have governments buying Bitcoin, mining Bitcoin. We have companies putting Bitcoin on the treasury. We have a lot of positive stuff happening for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, people are loving it. And yet the price isn't moving up higher. If you think about it, again, zooming out, it has moved up a lot from its all-time low. 587%, about 600%. It's a pretty amazing rally. If I had to pick a time to buy Bitcoin, now wouldn't be the time to buy Bitcoin. Now would be a much better time to buy alts, assuming that we're going to get an alt season. More on that in a second. But seeing not just signals from this bear formula that's already flashing the first warning sign, I'm also seeing measurements that are looking a little bit iffy. I'm looking at projections based off of halving dates, giving us a market top range of a couple months from now, actually, from the current week. Up until then, it's about 17 weeks. So about 3 months, 4 months, maybe 5, 6 months. But really, we're getting real close. The last thing to consider is another free indicator, which is RSI. I've been watching RSI like a hawk because I watch it every single day. Weekly RSI is important. And unfortunately, when I see weekly RSI putting in lows like this, losing momentum, it was above 70, which is a bullish sign of strength. But falling lower, putting in a lower high is not a sign of confidence, just like it did back over here in November. Not a sign of confidence. Looking at the monthly, yes, monthly RSI is still strong bullish. It's above 70. It's a great sign. But in order for it to really hit those bullish targets that Standard Charter and all those other promo bulls out there, way more bullish than Moon and Papa, are saying, we're going to have to see RSI meet or beat 82, maybe even go up to 90. But the reality is that we really got this market started much too early. I actually, back over here in October is where the market really picked up because of the spot ETF hype. Some of you are too new for that, and it's okay. But this market really got started way back over here. And the reality is that we are nearing the end of the bull market, whether it's with the TBO, whether it's with measurements, whether it's with this price heat map, we're getting close. I've already made videos talking about my potential top target for Bitcoin, so I'm not going to get into that. But what I do want to talk about next is important because we're talking about alts. We all know that we can make a whole lot more money trading alts, especially considering the fact that many of them, including Ethereum, this one hasn't even reached its previous all-time high set back over here in November 2021. It still has to move up another 97% approximately from the current price to 48.68 to just hit its previous all-time high. There's a much greater profit potential with many alts. So what are we looking at to figure out when it's a good time for those alts to rally? That's Bitcoin dominance. If you follow Ben Cowan, and you have for any amount of time, you know that Bitcoin dominance has been the real winner for the last 2 years. Since the beginning of 2023, it's just been going up and to the right, increasing 57%. What everyone and their grandma is waiting for is for stablecoin dominance to weaken and to fall. And we have price-based resistance up here at about 72%. Now, the reality is that the TBO is doing a great job of letting us know where those resistance levels are around 70%, 71%. I don't expect Bitcoin dominance to rage up much higher. I personally think that just like the bull market, it's almost done moving up higher. But the thing that I have to keep going back to in regards to momentum-based indicators like the TBO, this is still an extremely strong bullish chart. Even weekly RSI, while it looks pretty lame still, it's still fairly strong. Looking at the monthly, it's still really, really, really strong. The best time to look for real positions for real big returns for alts is going to be when Bitcoin dominance falls, ideally inside of this cloud. And it's still a couple of weeks away. But given the fact that I believe that we are really close to the end of this bull cycle, I do think that we are going to see a shift away from Bitcoin dominance to alts. It's not going to happen right away, but that's the next big thing, the next big signal to pay attention to is a big pullback on Bitcoin dominance, which would mean that the market is shifting away from Bitcoin and into alts, into Solana, XRP, Doge, Shiba Inu, Tron, whatever you want it. All of those coins. There are way more coins than there used to be. You also have to consider that as well. And we also know that many of those coins that are new die, some of them within a day. So we also have to be careful not to be overexposed to too many coins that are way down the list. I'm kind of summarizing some of the recent videos that I made for you guys here on the More Coin Bureau channel. But the thing to watch is Big Daddy BTC. I'm still optimistic about it going higher, but we also have to understand that it's getting close to the end. I don't like saying that out loud. I really don't. So what do? Well, this is a great time for you to sit down, look at your profits, look at your portfolio, decide, do you want to adjust some take profit targets? Do you want to protect profit? Are you prepared for it to go down from here if that happens? I'm not expecting it to at all. But if it does, will you be prepared for it? What safety precautions are you going to be making to protect your portfolio at all costs? This is stuff that we talk about in our course, The Better Traders. Like, this is stuff that I've learned, and it's been beaten into my head after multiple bull markets and bear markets, flash crashes, flash pumps, all that stuff. The main thing you have to do is you have to decide now, knowing that we're not at the beginning of the bull market, we are very much near the end. So what are you going to do to preserve your wealth? What are you going to do to preserve your portfolio so you can weather the bear market that's coming up next? That is something to think about. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.